Welcome. To anybody who's new to the program, Women in the Industry is a program about support and finding resources and people who you can relate to that you don't always have access to every day, being in a male-dominated industry. And that's other women in the pool and spa industry. So you are here in a place where you can build your network and find solutions and encouragement through other women. And we did this virtually last month. It was a great turnout. We had lots of interaction. It was a mix of both the Zoom chat, but we also had a lot of interaction, just being face-to-face here. So for the time being, we are in a virtual setting, but we do want to have something in person soon. So with that, I do want to go around the room and do an introduction of everybody. And if you could please introduce yourself with your name, the company you work with, and we'll just do a small icebreaker thing just to get to know you a little bit better. Just tell us your favorite thing about your job and any challenges that you're dealing with right now. What's the hardest thing you're dealing with right now? That could be anything, whether it's related to being a female or not. So I'll start just because I had a little moment to think about it. So I'm Sarah Garahan. I work at Blythe Sales, which is an independent manufacturer rep group. I love, aside from the people I work with, I love working with different manufacturers all the time. So it's something new all of the time. And right now, the most challenging thing that we're dealing with is obviously the change of seasons. And we also just updated our CRM to a new technology. So trying to train everybody and also myself on how to make the switch over, that's been a challenge.
Maybe, can I do it this way?
Alicia, you know what? I'm going to go this way. Michelle, you're up next on my screen. Are we all in the same order? Do you guys
doubt it, because I think it's different depending on where you are in the screen.
Okay, then I'll just call on everybody. Michelle.
Okay, so my name is Michelle Antonucci. I work for Pool Corp. I'm the fast track MIT. I'm going to be an operations manager. I think right now my current struggles would be or what I'm seeing right now is obviously the MIT program moves very quickly, and I'm finding myself scrambling to find a location where I'm going to fit in. And I think it's going to be definitely a huge transition because I'm so close to my team and the gentleman on my team that I work with, that, I'll be in a new place, a new area. So I'm just hoping I get the same respect and welcoming I got from my branch.
Thanks, Michelle. Dina?
Hi, I'm Dina Hasbrook, and I work for Hasbrook Pool and Spa. I would say the thing that I love about it is I love being a business owner. It's very rewarding, but it's nice to be able to make your own schedule. I got to spend a month in Key West, so that was awesome. And right now, my biggest challenge is and being in both. Like, I'm in the office and I'm also in the field, and I'm trying to handle both of that, and that's challenging.
Thanks, Dina.
Did you say Jamie? I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Patty, you're next. You're actually next after Patty.
Patty, I think you might be on mute. Is everyone hearing her?
I'm not hearing Patty, no.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question. So I said my biggest struggle, but I love everything about my job right now.
That's an awesome answer.
Yeah, it is.
I was taking roll call and I was like, oh, biggest struggle. Like, of course, that's the first thing. But no, yeah, I love everything about this job right now. So thanks. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Patty and I work for Grits Pools and Spas. I handle all the marketing. I run the store, do payroll, pretty much everything. The challenge I'm finding right now is the change of the season. Now everybody wants their pool. Today was beautiful outside, so they're calling wanting to know when. And with the manufacturing being slower this year, that's going to be a challenge. So that's kind of what I'm experiencing now.
Thanks, Patty. Jamie?
Hi, I'm Jamie Novak with BioLab, NC Brands, Natural Chemistry. We've had a lot of names over the last few years. I absolutely love my job as well. You kind of took my answers there, but it's something new every single day. No 2 days are the same, and I think that's a lot of fun. Challenge, of course, the season ramping up, being super busy. We have a really slim marketing team here at BioLab, and I think that is my biggest challenge is yeah, Emily's nodding. She can attest to that. But on a personal note, I am one of those soon-to-be pool owners that's asking when. So I'm trying to be patient, but it's so exciting, and I have a giant mud pit in my backyard right now. So very exciting times. I have a lot of questions, but looking forward to working with you guys in this group.
Thanks, Jamie. Anne Obarski, you're next.
It is. I'm a spy. Again, my name is Ann Obarski. I've run a business called Merchandise Concepts for, it will be 37 years in a couple of weeks. I know that doesn't seem possible, but I am a customer service strategist and speaker. I was invited by Pat Cava. And I spoke for NISPA this year and last year. And one of my passions is for speaking for women like yourself and working with women in different industries that are male dominated. And I'm just kind of here to listen. And my biggest thing that I miss is these kind of Zoom calls are fun, but I really like face-to-face. I like to be touching people and talking to people. And so maybe next year it'll be there. But that's been a frustration for me for my business, because my business kind of tanked, if you will, last year, because unless you're doing it this way, you didn't have business. So that's who I am. Oh, and I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, so I'm not even near you guys.
Yeah, it looks sunny and bright where you are.
You guys were talking, wait. Let me push it. No, that's not my house. Somebody told me I look like I was from IKEA. There's a little guy back over here that's wood, and I was like, no, he's in the screen.
Cool. Well, nice to meet you, Anne.
Thanks.
E. Johnson, I'm not sure what your first name is.
Hi, yes, Emily Johnson. I'm from BioLab. Sorry, that's my kind of abbreviated name, but yeah, I work in the tech services department within R&D at BioLab. My group specializes in kind of the field testing of our products. I'm actually quite fortunate, my team is fairly diverse these days. We have a lot, particularly a lot more women in our chemistry department than I think we've really had in a long time. Pardon my dog. So yeah, I guess I've experienced some issues being within the pool industry, somewhat in a male dominant world. We kind of working with a lot of the field technicians or service techs. We kind of you do see a lot more men than you do women, except for some of the women-owned dealers that I've gotten to work with over the past few years, and really hoping we can kind of get a few more of those in our business.
Cool. Thanks, Emily. Julie Kasdan. Hi, Julie. Julie joins us for the first time in our group. She's in the LIPSA chapter. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Kasdan. I own Kasdan Pools and Spas in Southampton, New York. Thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here. I'm purposely in the dark. I just taught a class and I had a total allergic reaction to the makeup I put on. So, hi.
We won't judge.
That's the challenge.
Sorry, I froze. Hi.
Okay, Pat, you're up.
Are you still waiting on me?
Oh, yeah, I was just,
Sorry, I don't know. I'm from Long Island, and hi.
Pat,
I didn't want to step on Julie's toes. Julie, you look wasted. That makeup did a job on you. Hi, Alicia. Hi.
Hey, Pat.
I like to engage with this group. It's one of my favorites. No offense, Julie, don't tell Lips I said that. And I invited Ann Obarski because she has been working on a program for us that we were going to do at the 2021 show. And of course, we kind of shelved that. And I told her about this group meeting up, and it's women in the industry. What do you call it? Whitey? I don't know what the abbreviation stands for. Yeah. Witty, is that probably to say it? But I asked her because we're looking at different platforms that we can use for education. And I say it all the time, there's more fathers and daughters than fathers and sons these days. And just as the industry as a whole, trying to find engaging opportunities for education that we can offer to anybody, not just focus on one, sex over another or whatever, we're trying to be engaging to everything, inclusive of all. But if you don't know me, I think most of you I do know, I'm the education director for NESPA, which is the region of which the chapters are part of. And I've been doing this 20 years. The challenge, keeping it interesting to me. The exciting part is that I can find new opportunities to make it challenging. And as long as it's effective and I'm engaging and I see a reaction to some of the things that we offer, and I think from the feedback that I get that we're on the right track when we offer programs. It's always a new opportunity. So it's really been fun working with this group, and and yes, it is rough when it's a male-dominated industry, as we all know. So, but we show them, don't we? We got it together, and I look forward to hearing the rest of you as well. So, with that said, maybe Julie will be back. I don't know. And Julie's also our current board president for NESPA. I don't think she got that in, but yes, she is one of our leaders on the board. So there you go. Plug for you, Julie.
Just to branch off of what you said, I like that you're throwing the education part in there. For those of you who don't know what an MIT for Pool Corp is, it's a manager in training manager in training program. So I'm doing the fast track MIT program. Usually we get to travel to corporate in Louisiana, and our Edge program in Texas, which is awesome. So I definitely like the fact that you threw education in there, because you don't see that often. And with Pool Corp, they do put the effort to find people, put them in this program, whether they have pool experience or not. By the grace of God, I got in because I have 4 years of pool experience, but it's mostly college graduates. And again, it was just really nice to see a company like Pool Corp offer a program like that, and then a guaranteed position as an operations manager. So I'm on that track there.
Well, good luck. Yeah.
thanks,
Thank
Michelle. Rebecca, you guys, we also have a guest tonight who's going to speak. Amy's going to do the introduction. I just want to get everybody through really quick with just a quick intro, so then we can open it up to more general discussion. So Rebecca, are you right there? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Have I unmuted? Okay. I'm Rebecca Thompson, and I am with Earth Science Labs. The thing I like about my job is getting to meet people and traveling. The thing that I'm having issues with right now is the lack of traveling. I say that, and I'm going to be gone for the next 3 weeks, so I'm excited. But so that's me.
Thanks, Rebecca. Okay, the next person, I don't have a name on the next one. There's a Pool Corp shirt, dark red shirt. Yes, that's you.
There we go. I have two monitors, so I couldn't find my mouse. My name is Andrea. I'm working with Pool Corp SCP out of the Boundbrook branch. I'm brand new. I just started, but I have been in the industry since I was 16 years now. So, but starting a brand new job as a sales representative in COVID, I mean, I think that speaks for itself. It speaks volumes. I'm trying to make it a point to call X amount of people a day, but these people don't really want to meet me, and I really want to meet them and learn their businesses. So that's definitely a struggle. But it's just the times that we're in. So hopefully, we have a friend, guys. Sorry. But yeah, nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Tracy.
Okay, so I missed the first part about what we're supposed to talk about.
Okay, so your name, which is Tracy Bond, everyone. Great Valley Pools. Say what you love about your job and your current struggle.
Okay, so I'm the owner of Great Valley Pool Service. We do pools as well as awnings and holiday decor. I would say the thing that I enjoy about my job is the variety of things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and no 2 days are alike. So there's always something going on and something to challenge you, and you think things are going one way and they end up going in a different way. I think the biggest challenge we have is getting good, reliable, dependable people. I'd like to grow my business, and that's probably, and I'm still growing it, but I would like to grow it more and can't do so because of the human resource aspect and just finding a good, qualified, even unqualified, but capable workforce to try and help us grow.
Nice. Thank you, Tracy. And you guys, one of the reasons why we're using these questions as icebreakers is if you guys have any recommendations or feedback for anything that anybody's going through, just keep that in mind. And then, hopefully we want to get everybody connected again or one-on-ones or send chats or whatever you want to do. But if anybody has any advice for anyone on the call, please feel free to share. Nikki.
I'm Nikki McGalliard. I'm the retail side of Premier Pools and Spas in Souderton. I've been in the pool industry for 48 years. I think I trump everybody with that. I started out in retail, went to distribution, was a manufacturer's rep, and now I'm back to retail again. I like retail. I like dealing with customers. It's what I do. It's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing, I do not like Zoom. I never can figure it out right. I'm on Jeff's computer because I can't get the camera to work on mine tonight. It was working this afternoon. But so that's it. I'm here. I've been in the industry forever and ever. Woman in a man's industry, more true before than it is now. Things are changing.
Thanks. Thank you. Lisa.
Hello, how are you? I'm Lisa. I work for Pool Corp. I'm the secretary for Penn Jersey. I apologize in advance for the 100 times you're going to watch my dog run across the screen tonight. He's attention starved and very angry with me at the moment. Right now, the most challenging part of my job is that nobody has anything, whether it's chlorine tablets or equipment, supplies, whatever it is. Everybody wants things. I can't always get them. So it's a very fun day every day, but I do love my job outside of that.
Thank you. Kim Stroud, you won. Okay, Amy,
Oh, sorry.
there she is. Okay, Kim's here. Kim, go ahead.
Sorry. I knocked my screen off and lost the mute button. I'm Kim Stroud. I work at Delaware Valley Pool Supply. I am a field service technician. So what I like about my job is I'm doing something different every day in a different place every day. But the hardest thing now is, like Tracy said, you know, there's nobody to hire, so we're having trouble finding help. And like Lisa said, there's, you know, no equipment to be found. So those are the issues that we're running into right now. So thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Amy?
Good evening, everyone. Amy Rulo, current president of NESPA, Northeast Pool and Spa Association, vice president of Penn Jersey. And I work for Scott Payne Custom Pools in Montgomeryville. I am the vice president of service and renovations. Just want to say thank you to everybody for being here tonight. So excited. You know what I'm more excited about? That there are a few of us that have our Women in the Industry Woody shirts on. So our pullovers, I'm so excited to see those. I'm glad everybody that pre-ordered got them, and we can chat with Sarah later if anybody else would like one to add to your wardrobe. I want to welcome Alicia for being here this evening and taking a chance when I called her a little bit ago to say, hey, what are you doing on March 3rd? You want to join us? Alicia, as well as Jamie Novak, who is on this call, are good friends of mine. And through several years, I lean on them a lot for advice when it comes to chemicals for pools and certain issues. So I really felt that this evening, Alicia could add a lot to our conversation as we start this group over this past year. I think she could be a strength and a resource for all of us. I want to thank you for being here. I think we've all seen her bio, so I know I don't need to introduce her. So with further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Alicia. And thank you for being here this evening. I completely appreciate it.
So let me be really clear and start by saying when Amy said she called me a little while ago, it was a very, very short little while ago. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare for you guys, but hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun tonight. So my name is Alicia Stevens. I work for BioLab. I'll play the icebreaker game like everybody else. My favorite part of my job is talking. Anybody that knows me knows I like to do it, and I like to do it a lot. So the more people in front of me to talk to, the happier I am. I'm one of those rare people that truly loves public speaking in any way, shape, or form you can give it to me. So I enjoy things like this. This one made me a little nervous because I don't really know you guys or your format, but I'm enjoying it so far. So thank you. But my biggest, probably I have a couple of big challenges. One is COVID. So the people I'm talking to looks like this instead of rooms full of people that I can shake hands with and have personal conversations with. So I've had to really adjust the way I do my job, which has been a little bit interesting. And my other challenge is I do work for BioLab. So if you guys don't know where those challenges come from, then you don't read the news very often. So I'll just leave it like that and we'll move on from there. So all I want to do today, I want to tell you my story. I come from small town, podunk, little bitty Illinois. When I say small town, take it about 10 sizes smaller and you probably still didn't get small enough. I graduated from a high school with 31 kids in my graduating class. So I grew up in the country, and I'm gonna share my screen on and off today because I just put a few things together that I thought you guys might enjoy while we talk. But let's see here. Let's see. What do you see right now? Not the right screen, I'm guessing.
Well, I saw my favorite picture of a very young Alicia.
Is it there?
That's there. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So when I was this little 5-year-old girl, and as you guys can see from my camera, I don't really look very much like this anymore. And I was sitting here in my little dance recital dress and I had my hands together and I was praying to God for something. I wasn't saying, please God, let me grow up and work in the pool industry. That is not what crossed my mind. That is not what I was focusing on. But here I am, and I have to say I've been with BioLab 21 years this year, and I wouldn't have changed my journey for the world. But it just goes to show that as you're growing up and you think about what you're going to do with your life, you sometimes end up in places that you don't expect, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing at all. So that being said, I grew up in small town Illinois. I had a pile of brothers and sisters. Here's a small look at just part of my family. This isn't all of them. I picked the best pictures I could possibly pick to show you guys today. So I grew up in a very happy, very loving, very wonderful family that was very supportive. And if that's one thing that I can say, I will weave through the entirety of my talk today is you can accomplish anything if you're just supportive. And I think that this group is doing exactly that. You are supporting each other. And hopefully there's going to come a day in our industry where we don't need this group, because it's not about women supporting women. It's just everybody in the group, women, men, whatever. There's no difference anymore. And that would, that hopefully that's where we'll get to eventually. It's gotten better in my 21 years. And somebody said they were here for 48 years in the pool industry. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it change a lot over those years. So that is the one thing I could say is we, supporting each other is the only way we're going to grow, and supporting each other is the only way we're going to make any change or any difference in the industry. So I grew up in small town Illinois. I went to high school. I went to a small liberal arts college in Illinois. Georgia Tech gave me a call and they said, hey, we're recruiting for a master's program. We'd like for you to interview. So I said, well, I've never been on an airplane before. I've never been to Georgia before. So why not? I'll go down to Georgia Tech and do an interview. So I did that. And I thought that was kind of fun. And they said, hey, come on down and come to grad school. And we're going to put you in a chemical engineering program we think you'll be perfect for. Don't ever believe anybody that says you'll be perfect for a chemical engineering program, because you're not. I guarantee it was the most miserable 2 years of my entire life. And if you want to talk about a male-dominated industry, chemical engineering is a very much a male-dominated industry. So I spent a couple years at Georgia Tech, and I walked out of there and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. My mom's calling on a weekly basis. When are you moving back home? Not going to happen, Mom. But I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So a friend of mine called and she said, I know you're looking for something to do while you figure out your life. I saw this job posted online for a summer helper. I thought you might be interested. And I said, oh, what is it? It's just answering the phones or something. So I was like, okay, well, I just need to make a little bit of money while I figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And so I called and I interviewed at BioLab. And that was 21 years ago in April. And I started literally as a summer temporary worker making $8 an hour, answering the phone for the people that called and said, I can't read your label. How do you apply your product? I put the wrong product in. What do I do about it? My pool's green. I don't know what to do with it. What do? I don't know how to balance my pH, etc., etc. So that's kind of my journey on how I got to BioLab. In customer care, I think most of us would agree that customer care, customer service itself is more of a female dominated industry. And at BioLab was no different. I never felt any sort of a difference between men versus women in that actual department, because it was actually pretty well balanced. We're more heavily female. So I did that for about 3.5 years, and anybody that has learned pools by drinking through the fire hose, some of the best way you can learn pool chemistry is just repetition, repetition, repetition. And in customer care, that's what you did. You answered the same questions over and over and over again. So I got a ton of really good experience. I got plucked out of customer care, worked in R&D. My undergrad degree was in biology. I had gone to Georgia Tech. So I worked in R&D for a couple of years. And in that time, I got the opportunity to teach a class. Now, remember I said I love public speaking. There's absolutely nothing I like more than talking to people. So I'd like to say that in that first class, right before I went up there to talk to the 85 people that were in the room, I threw up. I am not ashamed to say it. I threw up. I was terrified to do it. I was talking about chemistry, and my boss, a man named David Rouse, had said, "You're going to be fine. Just go out there and do it. I'll be in the back of the room to help you if you get stuck." Okay. I threw up, got over it, got up there to talk. And as you haze any rookie, the minute I started talking, he walked out of the back of the room, just went out the back doors, right? So I was up there all by myself, absolutely no support whatsoever, still taste vomit in my mouth, quite literally. And I'm trying to deliver this presentation. And I thought, I'm never doing this again. But I did it. I got through it. At the end of it, I thought, well, that was kind of fun. So maybe, I don't know, 2 months later, I had a performance review. And I don't know if you've ever been through performance review process or not. They can be very, very frustrating. They can be very, very rewarding. It just depends. And if any of you manage people, I will say this, a performance review and the way it's structured can absolutely make or break an employee. And if you haven't given some thought to how you deliver them and what the content is, please do, because it'll absolutely make or break your employee on how they're motivated to go about their job, how they're motivated to grow and change and do all of those things. My performance review with this particular boss, and I credit 3 people with really putting me where I am today career-wise. I'll talk about all 3 of them at some point. But this particular boss is one of them because he said, all right, here's your performance review. What do you want to do? So what do you mean? We do this, we do that. And he goes, no, not what does the department do? What do you want to do? And I said, I want to teach. I like teaching people. He goes, you threw up. I'm like, once. But then I got better at it and I got more comfortable with it. He goes, okay. And that boss, I worked for him for another 2 years. And that boss gave me every single possible opportunity that he could possibly give me to stand up in front of people and talk. Little groups, big groups, phone calls, interviews, whatever he could do to put me in front of people, he did that. He didn't see man or woman. He didn't see, what I look like or anything other than the fact that this was my career path that I had chosen and I wanted to do. And he said, okay, I'm going to help you get there. And he was the first step in creating the career that I've been so very blessed to have. So I started talking a lot and I really started to enjoy it. And eventually a position came up at BioLab for an education manager, and I applied. There were other people that applied that probably on paper might have been more qualified than me, but later I learned that I got hired for that job because I had the most passion of anyone. Everybody else wanted to talk about how it would change the business and how they would deliver the numbers and all this stuff, and I wanted to talk about how excited I was to talk and how excited I was to see as many people as I possibly could. So I started a career as an educator. My mom's disappointed to this day I'm not an orthopedic surgeon, but I do think deep down she's probably proud of me at this point. But I started a career that I am so very blessed to have. But if you look at me and you look at a typical lineup, Pat, you're familiar with this. Look at a typical lineup in a trade show, any trade show, and it's still to this day male dominated. And that's not because Pat chooses the men over the women. It's because for every 10 men there are to talk, there's only one woman with the same ability or the same credentials or the same drive to do that. And so that's where you really see a big difference in men versus women, just in the amount of us women that are willing and able to stand up and say, I want to teach, I want to talk about chemistry, I want to talk about equipment. I want to talk about those sorts of things. So and that's something I hope to see. I've seen it changing over there. I've been talking in the industry for a few years now on a little bit of a basis. And I've seen it just, you see more and more women start to show up in the speaking rosters, but I can definitely say that we're still a minority there, but it's just something that not everybody wants to do, but when they do want to do it, it's our job to support them and lift them up and be there for them. I'm going to talk about that more in just a minute. But so I started a career as an educator and whoops, go back here for a minute. I wish I could go back to this where my hair was a whole lot darker than it is now and I had a whole lot more of it. But this day, and I remember this day specifically, this is the first day that I didn't get nervous to stand up in front of a group of people and talk. I walked in, I said, I'm ready to go. I didn't get nervous. And somebody asked me, how in the world can you get so excited about public speaking? Why don't you get nervous? And I said, this was the day I realized that I knew more than anyone else in the room and they couldn't get me. They couldn't stump me. They couldn't trick me. They couldn't get me. And that was the day that I settled into my career. I was confident in what I knew. Men didn't intimidate me anymore. It used to be when I started to talk, if a man wanted to ask a question, I'm like, oh, he's going to try to get me. He's going to talk about equipment. I was stereotyping just as badly as we get stereotyped. But this was the day that I knew more than anybody else in that room. And I was completely confident in what I was doing. So from that day, I have built my career. And one of the biggest things that I can say, let me stop the share real quick, is that I wouldn't be here. And I don't think many of us would be here if we didn't have teams of people surrounding us. And the one thing that I don't ever want to see in our industry is women cutting other women down. And I don't ever want to see that happening. And it's happened to me a couple of times in speaking situations. And I'm sure it's happened to all of us, but everyone needs a team of people to support them. Everyone needs to be lifted up sometimes. Everyone needs to know that when they're standing in that room or on that Zoom call or in that meeting and they're outnumbered 2-to-1 or 10-to-1, male versus female, that the women around them are going to stand up for them and support them and give them what they need to be successful, because we have to do that for each other. We absolutely have to do that for each other. So everyone needs a team. I'd like to say a couple of things about my team here. Hold on one second. Let me share real quick. I have 2 screens going on and neither one of them is cooperating at this point. So I apologize. Give me just a second here. We'll just do it this way. It'll be easier. Can you see it, Jamie? Okay. So I wouldn't be anywhere without these 2 ladies in the picture right here. And we haven't known each other that long, quite honestly. This is our first sales meeting that we had after Biolab and Natural Chemistry merged together. And we were 3 people that honestly didn't know each other that well at that point.
That's definitely water, by the way.
Yeah, water. It was very, very tasty water. Yeah.
Very bubbly water.
Very bubbly water. Yes. And we didn't really know each other. And we were definitely a minority in this room. We were absolutely surrounded by men. All the upper levels of our management teams and everybody around us was teams of men. And here we are. And I've never seen 3 women band together so fast. All it took was one afternoon riding around in a golf cart, drinking water. And we cemented a bond that will, 50 years from now, Jamie, I hope we're still as good of friends as we are today. But everyone needs this team, and everyone needs people around them to support them. And none of us would be here without that. So that's kind of my story. A couple of things. One, I would challenge all of you to find yourself a person. I said there are 3 people that have really impacted my career, and Jamie Novak is one of them. She has introduced me to the industry. She has gotten me more opportunities to build myself up and build my personal brand than I have ever had in my life. She has taken me under her wing and introduced me to hundreds of people that I'd never met before. I'd been in the industry for 19 years before I met her, and I hadn't met these people before. Then I didn't know them, and I didn't even know what opportunities I was missing out on. And I challenge every one of you that if you have a Jamie Novak in your life, tell them thank you. And if you can be a Jamie Novak for someone, do it, because everyone needs that. I want to be a Jamie Novak for someone. I want to find someone, and I will, to take under my wing and help them along. And I know that everyone has that opportunity, and they have that ability to help another female move along in their career and get to where they want to be. So Jamie, sorry if I embarrassed you, but that was really important for me to say, is that my life has changed and my career has changed because I had a strong woman standing beside me, helping me. So
I didn't expect to cry on this. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I truly am.
And with a group like this, there's so many opportunities for those kinds of relationships to build. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So these are some of the women in my life that have helped me get where I am. My mama's in several of these pictures. If anybody knows me, you know Mama, and she's one of the most important people in my world. But that's my story, and I want to end with a couple of things. One, I want to end with a look back, and Jamie and I were talking before I did this, and she said, well, what would you tell yourself, that person that started in customer care 21 years ago, if you could talk to them today? And I would tell myself a couple of different things. I would say, don't be afraid to ask a question. And I would challenge you all, don't be afraid to ask a question, whether you're outnumbered, intimidated, or unsure of yourself, don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't feel like you have to show who you are in this industry. Just be who you are. We are women, we are strong, and we are able to hold our own in this industry. So don't let anyone try to take that away from you or try to make you feel like you're something less. Just because it feels like it's out of reach, it isn't. There have been so many things in my life, in my career, that I have felt like I would never get to. Don't ever stop reaching for what it is that you want to accomplish. Just because it's a man's world that we live in doesn't mean we don't have a place in it. So find your place, make your place, and then get your ladder out and just keep climbing, because there's plenty of places for us to go and plenty of places for us to grow in this industry. Look at just introducing ourselves. We have presidents of NESPA, we have chairman, we have all sorts of people just on this 19 people that I'm looking at on this call that are doing so many big, wonderful, beautiful things in our industry. And look at where we're going. So don't ever lose track of that. And my final piece of advice is, it's okay to say, I don't know, but it's not okay to not find out. So I say that all the time. I don't know, but I will find out. And that's how you grow and you keep growing. So I feel like I'm lecturing you. I'm sorry. I have one more thing I want to leave you with, and then we'll just have a chat. But my dad, I grew up with 2 dads, a dad and a stepdad, and my stepdad passed away, unfortunately, about 3 years ago. And he had a brain tumor. So at the end, things got a little bit jumbled, and his voice, his words were jumbled up. But he gave me the best quote of my life. And it's something that I live by every day. I am full of the stubborn, and there's work to be done. And I would tell all of you, be full of the stubborn and keep moving forward. Do not let anyone steamroll you. Don't let anyone make you feel like you don't have a place, because we all have a place in this industry. And that place gets bigger and better and more visible the more we help each other and the more we grow. So that's what I got today. Hopefully it was okay. I really agonized a lot over what to talk about and what to do for this meeting, and hopefully you guys got maybe a little bit something out of just hearing my story and where I've been and how I got here. So that's what I've got. So anybody have any questions or anything you want to add?
Hey, real quick before we go forward a little bit, we have one person on the call we forgot to introduce earlier, and I apologize. Rachel from DS Pool Service, do you want to take a quick 30 seconds, do your intro, and then we can move forward and Sarah can get ready for some Q&A?
Yep. Hi, guys. Alicia, thank you. First of all, I like hearing to you talk. It's been very motivational. So as a woman so I came from the salon industry. I worked there since I was 19. I'm 40 now. I still dabble in the industry. So in that industry, men always trusted you. And now that I've been in this industry for almost 4 years, it's completely different. And they always want a man to tell you something versus a woman. So being in this industry, you are constantly trying to get the most information so that that man customer that comes in will rely on you. So I just being in a retail industry, trying to learn everything that I can now that I'm in the pool industry, it's completely different. But if you can surround yourself with the most information that you know, that man will trust you. And he will email you and he will ask you a question and you can reply with your best knowledge. And it happened to me today. And he trusted me with the information that I gave him. And he did not want to speak to a manager. He did not want to speak to anybody else that was higher up. It is rewarding to know that women in this industry can be respected as the same as a salon industry, because let's be honest, I mean, if you have a man that comes into the salon and they want to know something, I think 10 times they're going to be more responsive to a woman than they will be to a man. And I think it just goes to show, it just depends on the type of industry you're in. So the more information you know, the better.
Yeah, I can add to that. I started on the equipment side of the industry before BioLab, and oh my gosh, some of the stories that I have of just being questioned, and I had to prove myself. I had to work extra hard to prove myself. I had a man in front of an entire group of people say, let me show you how to use that tool that I was there to show them how to use. He did it wrong. But anyway, so you know, we do have to work extra hard to prove ourselves, I think, but a lot of times, like what you're saying, once you get to that point, people do trust you and they do listen to your advice. We just have to maybe work a little harder sometimes.
And that's okay. I think that's the point that we have to be all right with it. If we had to work a little bit harder, it's okay.
Hello?
It's okay.
Nothing much.
I think we're always going to have to work a little bit harder. But I think that's true in so many places, even beyond this industry. So I think that's just, it is okay. You're right. But we are going to have to work a little bit harder. Doesn't mean we can't get there.
No. And I think even in these times that we're at right now, I think we have so many more advantages. And I think if a woman knows that, just think of the possibilities. I mean, if you have a gentleman come into your store or call you on the phone and you know the answer to their question, oh my goodness, they've just, you've just blown their mind because they thought that only a man could answer that question, but that a woman took care of them, answered their question in a timely manner. It happened to me the other day, and I think the fact that I could actually answer their question in the amount of time that I've been in this industry I think, and they didn't know that, but for me, that was just I kind of wanted to pat myself on the back, like, oh yeah, I knew the answer to your question.
So I have a question, and I apologize ahead of time because on my screen your name is Jeff, but I don't think your name is Jeff, and I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. But I have a question for you. So you've been in the industry for 48 years now, you said.
Yes.
What advice would you give all of us?
Rachel had it right. Know what you know and know it well. One of my favorite stories to tell is I was 30 years old working in a pool store. I had a guy come in and say, I need to talk to the parts manager. And I said, I'm the parts manager. Well, I was told to ask for Nick. I need to talk to the parts manager. And I said, okay, fine. So I went back to my office and I came back out with my hand out and said, hi, I'm Nick. My name's Nikki. I'm Nick. I'm the parts manager. What can I help you with? And he turned around and walked out. And about 5 minutes later, he came back with the guy who had told him to ask for me, and they were hysterical. I can't believe you did that to me. But I knew what I was talking about. I've been in and out of retail for years, and I've got that same guy back now. He's come to see me. I heard you were in the retail again. Here you are. You have to build up your customer base. You have to know what you're talking about. If you don't know, find out. That's a big one with me too. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm good at it. Been doing it for years.
And that's where I'm at. Like, the thing that we did in the salon industry is to know your customers' names and to know their issues. And even if you didn't know exactly their pool issues, I knew about them. I knew their names. So when I have
I never know anybody's names.
Me either.
I can tell you what your pool looks like.
I know customers' names. They come in and I say, oh, hi, Jeff, how are you? How's your family? That's what I did in the salon industry. That's how we based our haircut on them. Your family, you don't have a lot of money. You can't come in all the time. You can't get a haircut that requires the maintenance. So, and that's what I do. All right. So you have a pool. You don't require a lot of maintenance. How can we help you? But I knew them. So when they come into my store, I know their name. I say, hello, Nick. How are you? How's your family? How are you? Oh, what's the problem today? And that's just what I know, but that's what my customers know now. And I've only been doing that for a year, but that's why I feel like people keep coming in. I know them. I know their name. I know their pool. I know their kids' names. And we go from there.
And you know what you're talking about.
For 3 years, I feel like I know the best. I'm constantly learning. I'm not going to say I know all the answers, but I'm going to look for the best person to find those answers. I'm going to.
It's okay to say I don't know. It's just not okay to not find out.
Correct. And I will tell them, I don't know the answer right now, but I'm going to find the person that will find that answer for you, and I will get back to you. I have no problem saying that. No
Me
problem.
neither. Been doing it for years.
The
I
best
don't know everything
with people and being a manager is that you don't always necessarily know the answers, but you can work with the right people to find the correct answers. And that is I believe, best thing you can ever tell somebody, because then they know that you're going to find those answers and you're going to get back to them.
So in these conversations, something that just kind of popped into my mind, and I don't know, maybe you're already doing something like this, Sarah or Amy. Is there any kind of like mentor program within the Women in the Industry group? Because I feel like that could be something really cool. I think it was it Michelle? Somebody said they were in the MIT program and maybe newer to the industry. So yeah, having like somebody who's been in the industry for a while is like a big sister type situation. Have you guys ever looked into anything like that?
No, we don't have anything set up like that. The whole thing here was actually inspired by Patty and Tracy Bond on the call today. We had a just plain old generic women in the industry, like just talking about our challenges. It was a class that was held once. And I think that's where they met. And then ever since then, they have been meeting for quarterly lunches. They both run their companies. But they kind of teamed up, and that's kind of what the whole idea was about creating the program. So if somebody, I don't know how to arrange that, but you know, if there's someone who wants to drop their name in a bucket or something, you know, maybe we could keep some kind of system going where, you know, you have your position and you're willing to take calls or something like that. We could maybe schedule some time for some of the younger people to get in touch with these upper level women. That would be great.
Yeah, I just think it could be really cool. You know, Emily and I work in the same company, and I didn't really get to know her until she was writing an article for a trade publication, and I kind of got looped in. So like even within our own organization there, you know, we don't interact on that level, but now I'm so proud of the work that she's doing. So it's like, I just feel like if we could all help each other out and just be that network for each other, it'd be a cool program to look into.
Yeah.
Of course, and like just to branch off of that, like I totally look up to everyone here as a role model, and I need that critical feedback and that reassurance that like I'm not crazy, I'm not, you know, getting attacked by a warehouse full of men, because essentially in operations that's what you're going to be dealing with. I mean, I think you're going to be dealing with a majority of guys, so I definitely rely on all the women here to guide me in my journey here.
I love your passion just starting out. That's so cool.
I love this idea because I know like the first time I ever came into the Penn Jersey meeting, I was a little nervous. Like I'm going in, like I don't have anything to offer. I'm like, I just like brush pools and, you know, I'm just out there in the field. What can I help with? But as I came in and heard people, I'm like, oh, you know, and other people are going to feel that way too, coming into something new. And I mean, I don't know, just like I said, I was out in the field. I was like, what could I really help out in a board meeting? I don't even know what a board meeting does.
But think about it. If I have an equipment question and you've dealt with that in the field, I could call you up. You know, it's just kind of a cool network.
Yeah, we do have a lot of varieties here. Like some people on the call, you know, obviously are from the education side, like Pat Cava, Alicia. Then we have some people who are running their service companies, dealerships, what have you, people who work in distribution. There's also a few people really on the call that are actually women in the field. So Dina's one, Kim's another, you know, Alicia.
I was in the field last year. I was actually in the field. I was doing water testings at the people's houses. I was in the field. It was the first thing ever.
Yeah,
so I have respect for that field.
Yeah, if I can even make just a small suggestion, if people, sorry, I'm muted now because I'm heading to the gym, but I wanted to say that it's something as simple as like an Excel spreadsheet. If we all get, whoever wants to offer their advice, you know, we can just put our name, our number, our title, where we're from, and, you know, have it open to, if I can contact this person, or if you're open to being contacted, then I don't know if that's against anything or not, but it's just something I kind of popped in my head if you're kind of thinking to reach out and help somebody, or even like Alicia said, you know, find a buddy and, you know, find a friend, find a gal.
So okay, but I've got dibs on Jamie Novak. So
I have dibs on Lisa Segan.
If anybody
mine first.
I think we should do like an opt-in thing. I think everybody here is open to it. That's why we're all here tonight, right? But if we could do like an opt-in, and then just send me a message with your contact info, and we can make a phone book, you know, a digital phone book or something. And then we can have columns like what your background is, and then we can know who to call for what. And then, you know, as you guys all come across other women that you work with that haven't been on this call, or, you know, whatever, just invite them in. Like, this is a Penn Jersey thing, but clearly we're opening it up to the region. Julie's here from Lipsa. We have Pat from NESPA. I mean, like, this is open. We just want to, the whole point of this is just to, do what Jamie said, but we haven't had anything like in a phone book form. So that's an excellent suggestion.
Hey, Sarah, I don't know if everybody is on LinkedIn, but it might be a good idea to make a LinkedIn group that we can all join. That way we see everybody's background and you have the ability to send messages to one another.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I think TVDA started a LinkedIn page for us. Not sure if it ever was finished, but we will follow up on that. And if anybody is not part of our Facebook Women in the Industry group, join that too, because we're finding that is kind of like a great means of communication. We're getting more stuff out that way too. So we kind of have, different channels of things we're communicating to all you guys, but absolutely, Tracy. And I think Denise, who's on our call, Denise is with Neff and Downing. She's the Penn Jersey admin director. I'm sure she's taking.
It's Anna. I'm here.
Okay. Oh, that's Anna. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's on Denise's account. Okay.
Right.
So
Yep.
there is a Penn Jersey LinkedIn page. Is there one for a Women in the Industry group on LinkedIn?
Not that I know of, but I also haven't looked. I only was given access to the Penn Jersey page. So
Are we able to create like a Teams account for it? Does everyone use Teams?
No.
I think
there's
I've used
not a
every
Penn
single
Jersey
platform
LinkedIn
there is.
account for the women.
there is not, right, Lisa?
No, there's not.
Yeah.
It's just the Penn Jersey thing, but it could be a subgroup of that page, but it's not, there's nothing set up on LinkedIn for it, only on Facebook.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks, Tracy, and thanks, Jamie. We'll put it into action.
Fun.
Cool.
So just a quick question, I guess, to everybody. Does anybody have anything for Alicia specifically they want to ask? A next question? Alicia, I just want to thank you for everything tonight. I love your story. I love your pictures.
I truly enjoyed it. Thank you. I hope you had a little bit of fun. If I have a philosophy, if you can't laugh about it, don't do it, right? So hopefully you enjoyed it.
You got to share the meme though that I made from that picture. Maybe not today.
It'd be easier for you to share it, but I also forgot a picture that Jamie's probably very disappointed. So the picture I showed of the three of us having a drink, the three of us banded together. Water, right? Drinking water. We banded together for our boss that year, and we got him socks for Christmas, but they had our faces. So literally he had his team on his socks, and we got a big laugh out of that. So have fun with whatever you're doing. That's some of the best advice I could give. So we certainly know how to laugh.
And also, keep your eye out in the next Aqua magazine. There'll be an article about Alicia in there.
There will. That's exciting. Man, she's everywhere.
Trust me, my schedule tells me that I've done a lot of work lately.
Alicia, I have a quick question.
Of course.
Where in Illinois?
Oh gosh, small town. It's a little town called Robinson.
I know where Robinson is.
How do you know where Robinson is?
There's let's see. I live in Indiana.
Which part?
Indianapolis. Well, I live in New Palestine.
Okay.
But I cover Illinois and have for 21 years.
So the little town I actually went to school in was Hudsonville, if you know Hudsonville, right there on the river. That's the town I graduated high school from. So it's small town, isn't it?
Very small town.
Very small town, yep.
So yes, I do know where you're from.
You're the only one, trust me.
And we have met. You did a training in Indianapolis, and at that time I worked for a BioGuard dealer.
Yep, we did trainings there every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Well, guys, I
can't
just
wait
want to
see
say
in person.
before we're done for the evening, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I've truly enjoyed it. And if there's anything I can do, I'd love to be a part of your mentor list. I know I don't live anywhere near your region, but I'd love to be a part of your mentor list. And I've really, really enjoyed the interaction tonight. So thank you for that.
You know, Alicia, thank you for being our guest speaker tonight. But, you know, if we continue this, which I'm sure we will, especially virtually since you're so far away, but we'd love if you could join us again and just, as we get together and, talk about things, it would be great to, keep you around with your experience and your advice. And
I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Great. Yes. We'll make sure that you're staying in the loop on all of these upcoming events.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Does anybody else have anything else to add? I don't want to put Kim on the spot. I know she was really excited about Alicia joining the call. I know she sent some stuff in chat, but I just want to give her a quick opportunity.
Alicia, this is Pat. I just want to know what you're doing next January.
Whatever you tell me I'm doing, Pat. Whatever
Good
you tell me
answer,
I'm
good
doing.
answer. Hopefully we can do in-person education.
I hope so.
I hope so as well.
You can find me at the Tropicana, the bar at the basement. That's where I'll be.
Are you buying?
Yeah.
I'll be a part of it too, please.
Yes, yeah. Just to wrap up, as listening to everybody's story, it's true in any industry. You have to prove yourself first before you command any respect, especially from the male counterparts. And I've seen that so many times in all the fields that I've worked in, but never doubt yourself, because you know something a lot more than what that person is asking. And, sometimes when a person leads with a question, they already know the answer. They just want to know what you have to say. And you could double speak them if you have to. But, our whole intelligence is based on ourselves, not whether we're sex or not. But we do find ourselves trying twice as hard to impress the people that we have to. And then you have to ask yourself, is that really worth it? But it does come across, and they'll respect you better for what your knowledge base is. And, and I'm a lot further on the other side of where all of you are starting. So I've been through a few industries. The pool industry has been a challenge over the 20 years. I didn't think I'd last this long, but I got there because I could spell pool. Now I'm working up to spa. So I think I may have made a few people respectful of me. I'm not sure. The jury might still be out on that. So, I'll still try as hard as I can, but I don't want anyone to ever think that they don't contribute something to anybody's knowledge. We all do, no matter what field we come from. And, and I'm just so excited by the energy of this group. I really am. And I hope we continue it as well going forward. And any ideas, like I said, I invited Ann Orborski onto the call because I wanted her to see some of the areas that the women in our industry have. So if we do go forward in 2022, which we will, what kind of programs we could put together at the show that, we could, solidify and see as a whole how we can do better and, progress ourselves. So with that note, I'll relinquish the floor. Hi, Ann.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. If everybody's good to go, thank you. Thank you, everybody, and especially Alicia. Thank you. And thanks, Amy, for getting Alicia involved in the call. Thank you, everybody.